Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. We have the pleasure of having one of our partners with us, Commerce Build, and Daniel Saunders will be presenting on optimizing with ERP, e-commerce benefits versus Shopify, Magento, and WooCommerce. As a reminder, we are recording this webinar and we will post it to our on-demand webinar library for you to review again or share with anyone. And you can find our library under our resources tab on our website at inovia.com. And we do encourage you to ask questions during the presentation, so please feel free to type them into the questions box. Raise your hand and I'll unmute you if you'd like, and we'll get them answered at the end of our session. So now I'm going to kick it over to Commerce Build, and we'll begin the presentation.
Welcome, everybody. Just wanted to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you're at. But wanted to give a big thanks to the Novia team for giving us the opportunity to have a conversation with you all. We're going to be covering optimizing with ERP-Integrated e-commerce versus Shopify, Magento, and WooCommerce. My name's Daniel Saunders. I'm the sales director here at Commerce Build. I'm out of San Antonio, Texas, as it says right there. I've been in the e-commerce space for roughly 13 years. I've sold Magento. I've worked in back-end infrastructure systems. I helped Squarespace build out their New York data center. So I'm well-versed in not only technology, but the software aspect of e-commerce too, and understanding how really to identify, what solution is best for your business model. Not every e-commerce platform is built the same. E-commerce platforms and their features are designed for, specific types of organizations and businesses. In a world where the lines between B2B and B2C are becoming pretty blurry, selecting the right e-commerce provider, it's pretty imperative to enable the success of your business. What to look for? Well, I can tell you this, choosing the wrong e-commerce platform can negatively impact your business's performance, your growth potential. It can impact customer satisfaction, data security, and even overall competitiveness in the marketplace. It's essential to invest time and effort in selecting the right e-commerce solution that aligns with your business needs, just so you can avoid the consequences of that, right? There's some key factors to think about whenever you are selecting a provider for your business, right? Some of these are listed here. Do they use a connector? Do they build out natively with the ERP? What experience are you looking for, and what does that platform excel in? Do they offer support? How about training on the platform so that you're not lost in the weeds? Do they have the features and functionalities that your business requires? How about pricing? Is it a fixed flat fee? Do they use a GMV model where they look at the success of the business and then charge you accordingly? Are you going to be locked into a 3, 4, 5-year commitment? In today's world, things change super rapidly. If you choose a platform that isn't flexible and that can meet your business demands, that can actually have a negative impact. How long will it take to deploy from the first engagement, right? If you've got an unrealistic expectation or you need something to go up quick, these are all things to talk about. Do you have internal resources that are able to use the platform and actually excel at using that? And then, does that platform have the ability for third-party integrations? As we get more and more into the way of the worlds, we're becoming a lot more specialized into that, where a lot of businesses really look at one thing and they really excel at doing those one things. Do they offer?
If I could.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Oh, sorry. I have to go in just a second. Hi, everyone. It's Jay Newman. I'm up here in Vancouver for a meeting starting in 20 minutes, and I need to go. I just first wanted to say thanks to everyone joining, and so sorry that I'm not able to stay for the whole session. You're in great hands with Daniel. I'm the guy that hired him 13 years ago, so I think pretty highly of his operability to help you out. If one thing out of today that you take away, that I certainly hope you will, is that all of these things that you should look for in an e-commerce provider. One of the things that I just spoke to a prospect yesterday, and it took a while for them to think about it, but their number one thing was they wanted to have great support. They wanted to have somebody that they knew would be there, that they knew was going to respond to them. We measure our response time to be within 1 hour, and if it's an emergency, it's within minutes. But their prior experiences, they couldn't get responses from their e-commerce vendor. It was at a much bigger company, and I'm thrilled that our smaller company, you get a white glove touch from our people, and it's just all the things that are important to you. If I could recommend before I head off and have you listen to a list of things, there's a lot of things here that are very specific to how you run your business, and if customer support's important for you, we're a great fit. There's other areas where Shopify has, I think, 5,000 app connectors, and we don't have that. So there's a lot of good things about each provider, and we're thrilled to be here. And thanks again, Angie, for the chance to join. Appreciate you, everyone.
Thanks so much, Jay. That's super important to notate. Again, looking for an e-commerce provider can seem daunting. If you talk to an expert, you talk to somebody who's been in the space, who's really got a lot of scars, right? From doing implementations, working with long-term customers and watching their business goals change and things. You really need to, start thinking, for the now and into the future and stuff. So again, these items here, platform speed and uptime, themes, user experience, product management, payment options, scalability of the web store, of maybe you have a viral moment, right? And 20,000 people are coming to your site. Do you have the platform that can scale to add those resources at a time that is your most busyness, right? In 2024, everyone is using their phone, everyone is using an iPad. So is the site mobilely responsive enough to be able to handle the demand of the new generation of people doing everything on their mobile devices? How's the checkout experience? I've been to plenty of sites where the checkout experience was very painful and it took a while to overcome. And ultimately, I went and bought the product from somewhere else, right? So, and then last but not least, the hosting ownership. Like, where is that application? Do you own the server? Do you have to update that server? Do you have a server admin be able to do that? Do you have security layered over that? Do you have a security compliance officer that can understand how to do all that? Again, you can get yourself into a very specialized field into technology, and maybe you don't want to be in that particular space, right? Maybe if you're selling cars or car parts, you just want to do that and let the technology experts actually take care of that. The landscape. Now, there's some other ones that are out there, right? But these are the ones that we see come up, the most often, and probably are the more prevalent options inside of e-commerce today. I'm not here to say that any of these e-commerce solutions are bad by any means. In fact, I'd say the opposite. I think every single one of these platforms has a place. I think that they do very good things in their own specific way. And that's depending on what kind of e-commerce you're looking for, right? I mean, you've got the mainstream ones like Magento and Woo and Shopify Plus. They're good fits for sure. But, the question always asked and why people are always, looking and asking questions and booking demos and stuff is there a better solution for my business? And if you're an ERP shop, right? If you want to really manage data in a single location, you don't want to have to manage 3 separate data points, making sure the data all synchronizes, so on and so forth. Well, maybe some of these particular options aren't in your best interest. If you're a smaller organization that, needs the ability to handle kind of a one-stop shop per se. But hey, let's dig into different types of organizations that use e-commerce. They'd be great fits. Right. So we've got marketing driven. That's more of a B2C, right? The goals of the e-commerce marketing are really driving traffic to the online store, converting visitors to paying customers, and then retaining them after the purchase of that, right? You're going to see, companies like North Face, Kylie Cosmetics, they don't really have an extensive product catalog when you look at it. Maybe a few hundred items. Go to Adidas, there may be a few thousand. But in business to business scenarios, some of the customers that we work with have millions upon millions of SKUs. And it's really not the marketing driven scenario, right? They're not selling to the average consumer. So a marketing driven approach really doesn't concern them, really doesn't benefit them at all to handle that, right? And those are more Shopify's and things like that, right? A sales-driven kind of a B2B scenario, it involves understanding the specifics, needs, and goals of the business, providing more of a tailored solution to address it. It's more of a B2B sales kind of requires a lot of relationships building. You probably have CSR, sales reps. You need to discriminate effective communication, and really value the drive of successful transactions, really in a B2B environment, right? And then we've got the ERP-driven B2B and B2C, right? This is really, if you are ERP focused, if you've put a lot of time and effort into kind of sculpting your ERP into, what your organization's engine is per se, right? Well, ERP-driven e-commerce is going to give you kind of the reflection of all the hard work, right? You connect, right into the actual database of the ERP. We're pulling the correct data out, and then really the website is just exposing that data in a nice consumable fashion that people can relate to, people enjoy surfing the web, right? I'm older enough to understand that was a weird term back in the day, surfing the web, but I think now it's more prevalent than ever because everyone's really online. Everyone utilizes the internet, and it's just become an extension of, everyday life. Couple of stats here. I won't dig a whole lot on this. The source was Statista.com in July of 2023, but B2C versus B2C plus B2B. We've got the B2C stores, the WooCommerce, we've got WooThemes, the Squarespace that I mentioned earlier, Shopify's and the Wix, right? This is, the market share in there. And then you've got the B2C plus B2B, which are all the others, right? And there's a lot of other providers out there that can definitely help you in that scenario. But here's just the market share, some stats if you guys like numbers and stuff like that. Shopify. Shopify is a great platform, right? You heard Jay. There's 5,000 connectors. You can connect to pretty much anything. It's very easy to start. You can get online realistically within the same day, depending on how versed you are in using their UI and building that up. There's no coding, no need for developers. It'll integrate with your brick and mortar store. And then, again, plugins galore, right? Then you get down, say you outgrow Shopify, need a little bit more of integration. Maybe you need, more SKUs out there. Well, this is where the Shopify Plus comes in. You're going to outgrow, the traditional method, but you're going to need programming, more plugins. They're great for B2C. They're good for B2B. I'd say there's some other ones that are better than Shopify Plus that are out there, but you can easily go from a Shopify from 50 SKUs to Shopify Plus where you can, take the advantage of like 50,000 SKUs, right? The downside of this is they do take a percentage of the overall revenue. That's what they call their GMV pricing. I've always been obtuse about this. I just have an opinion about a company looking at your revenue and then creating a price for their platform based off that. I don't know. Never really liked that. The other one is WooCommerce, which everyone may know is a WordPress, a regular CMS with a Woo plugin for e-commerce. It's the next largest e-commerce platform on the market today. It's open source. Everybody can code against it. Everybody can create their own plugins. They can support, the smallest customer all the way up to the enterprise with a lot of customization. It does require large hosting resources, so that's, I would say, one of the downfalls of choosing that. And then, it requires your team or you go out there and hire a third party to really manage, maintain, and grow that. So, depending on where your business is, depending on what knowledge base that you have, or the connections that you have out in the world today to work with a third party that you trust, that'll give you rock solid recommendations on to take the next step of your business from an e-commerce standpoint. Still a really, really good platform to utilize in certain situations. Magento, this is one I know pretty well. Magento is a great platform. I always say you can do whatever you want as long as your checkbook can handle the zeros, right? So the Magento model, you're going to get into a 3 to 5 year term. That's what they get you to do. It is a expensive GMV model, so they're going to look at your overall revenue and they're going to put you in a bucket, right? It's going to be up to 5 million, up to 10 million, up to 15 million, so on and so forth. They review that every year. So they're going to have access to those logs. They're going to have access to those transactions because they're the owner of the application itself. They can 100% support not only just the enterprise, but the very large enterprises with a lot of customization. Again, large, huge hosting resources depending on the traffic, the functionality, and the business requirements that your business has, right? They typically need third-party solutions integrators. That's going to be people that are going to build on the application of Magento, build your site. They're going to have to, you're more than likely, if you don't have in-house resources, you're going to enter into a contract, whether it's a 3-month term where you buy a pool of hours, and then you can assign those hours for patches, upgrades, security flaws, whatever new feature requests that you want to do. This is ongoing. It isn't something that you're going to say, okay, I'm only going to need it for 90 days, and then I won't need that anymore. Absolutely not. The only way that you wouldn't need that is if you had somebody in-house that understood the Magento application, you had server admins, and you had network administrative admins as well, so that you can completely run that. And that's not even getting into your own internal specialized resources that have that tribal knowledge to be able to deliver that information to those individuals to build out what you guys are looking for. And the last but not least, customers are responsible for all phases of deployment and support, right? So there's a couple of ways you can host with Magento. You can go onto their Magento cloud. I think they're called Adobe Cloud now. Or you can take it on-prem. And in that case, they'll issue the license, and then it's up to you, right? You have to go find a home for it. And it's up to you and that solutions integrator to really dive into your business, understand kind of the level of traffic, the amount of SKUs, are they configurable SKUs? There is a lot of detail that goes into building out an implementation for Magento. And typically that's why a lot of the solutions integrators actually charge for that assessment to be able to build that, because of the amount of time, the amount of conversations, and then documentation that needs to be built out to actually build out a Magento store. So what's the problem? Well, mainstream e-commerce platforms are built and maintained separate from the ERP. They're not natively integrated. Because connectors are not natively integrated with the ERP, two systems are needed to be managed separately, which can create data silos. Not all data in the ERP will be available to mainstream e-commerce platforms. In fact, not all of the functionality of one system is available to the other. So constantly, data is going to need to be synchronized between both systems, potentially 3, depending on how many you're using, right? Sometimes they require manual intervention, on that. I had a customer who had 7 terabytes of storage one time. I think they had 4 million configurable SKUs. And Sonny used to go to bed at night at about 1 a.m. He would try to run the process of reindexing. He used to tell me, cross his fingers, go to bed, and hope that there was no errors that happened in the morning, because the data synchronization would take 5 to 6 hours to actually populate on that. So again, it's all finding what works for you, what is important to you, in that changes don't always flow from one system to the other. They can be made twice, so you can have double entries. It's one of those things that once in the ERP and once in the e-commerce platform and once in another location, these silos can be pretty frustrating to support and maintain. And it's really more so the inconsistency and missing information between the systems, and then the investigation going into that system and understanding, okay, where's the order? Did it break in, delivery? Did the information not get posted from the ERP up on the platform? So you have customers calling you, hitting the chat feature, sending you emails, where's my order? All these things here. And it could be simply, easily, resolved with an ERP kind of driven approach. Here's a cool little diagram, understanding really what an e-commerce platform looks like visually, right? Like the holistically from it, from a connector versus native integration. So when you're looking at a connector, this is really everything that you're looking at, right? So you've got the ERP over here on the left being Business Central. That's got all of your pertinent business information inside of there. Well, how do you share that, right? Well, you got to buy that connector there to actually replicate some data, not all the data, but some data that you tell it to go to all kinds of places, right? It's got to go to the e-commerce database, it's got to go to the CMS. CMS has to talk to PIM, DAM, CPQ. CMS also talks to tax, payment, shipping. All these are different integrations that have to work within that. And then at the end of the day, all that has to function and fluctuate to really 2 different areas, right? You have to send that information back to the e-commerce database where you've got pricing, inventory, products, customers, and financials. But that data also lives in the ERP, and that data has to get back to the ERP as well, where you have the same pricing, inventory, products, customers, and financials, right? Well, a lot of issues come up where, well, why isn't data replicating? Cool. Well, now the possible issues are maybe the e-commerce application is down. Maybe it's not accepting. Maybe the connector failed. Maybe there's something wrong with the ERP. The point is that you have multiple points of failure in this particular scenario. So you have to be well versed in understanding, okay, when a problem arrives, where do I go? What do I look at? What do I investigate? How long does it take for me to get back into operational standing? Because obviously you're down, customers aren't able to interact with you online. When they're not able to interact with you online, that's precious profit and dollars not going in there, and customers may get even a little bit upset, frustrated, and may even turn to a competitor in that particular stage of it all. What we like to do, what we like to call ourselves, is a piece of the pie, right? So our native integration, we've got Business Central as the center of the world, right? We look at that, we've got the inventory, we've got pricing, we've got accounting, we've got customer data, business logic, we've got all the sales team that's already in there. We've got your whole business inside of Business Central, and that's why we're the missing piece. All you have to do is plug us in. We're located up on the app store, fully integrated in there with Business Central, no connector, no other third-party connectors that you're going to have to go out and secure any of that. Everything can be housed, Commerce Build platform, and also with Business Central, right? We're natively in there. Again, we talk about this a lot. If you see us at a show, we're going to talk about us being the missing piece. We really feel that. Product can be super easily downloaded. I think I said that a minute ago, but I have to reiterate and stress that, because I'm an older generation where they used to be, follow the bouncing ball up on the screen while you sing along. Well, we have a similar method in the App Store, and it's that easy for you to go in there, download it, and then you yourself can just follow the bouncing ball, and you'll be able to have a sales portal within 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the amount of data that we need to replicate over into the e-commerce Commerce Build platform. Commerce Build connects customers to the heart of every business with ERP-integrated business-driven e-commerce, right? Since inception, we've been committed to delivering affordable solutions for businesses of all sizes. We cater to B2B and B2C companies in the manufacturing, distribution, retail, food and beverage. We even have a big wave of medical product customers coming in, asking us to help them out with all kinds of things. The biggest idea, though, is we want to maximize the customer's ROI, right? The actual return on investment. You spent time, you spent money, many nights probably sweating about the ERP. Well, let us accentuate that. Let's show off the hard work that you've done and all the time and effort that you've put in for that. Some of the frustrations that we see every single day, these are probably the top 3 that I run into when I'm talking to a customer that's already had other conversations with other platforms, and they give me a little feedback about their interactions with them. They offer expensive long-term contracts. Again, it's a fast-moving landscape. 3, 4, 5-year terms are just, they're so tough to accept when you know that 18 months from today, things are going to completely change. Maybe you have a new business directive. As we saw with the pandemic, things can change in a matter of weeks. And if you don't have a flexible platform, if your business isn't flexible to be able to accept that and actually make adjustments, it can be really difficult. Time-consuming delays. If you have a big integration, a big development, some of these things can take 6-7 months to create, and depending on how that goes, you can project 6 months and then it take 8 because you're building out something, right? It's all easy whenever you're looking at it on paper, saying, yeah, we can build that, we can put that in there, no problem, and we'll do it in this time frame. But until you actually roll your sleeves up, start coding, start the integration, start building out, you don't know really what you're getting into when you're really getting into those third parties and stuff like that. And then complex, right? Requiring a lot of specialized resources. I mentioned that. Do you have a server admin? Do you have a network admin? Do you have somebody that knows the application that can be on staff, whether they're a full-time employee or whether they're a contractor or even a solutions integrator that you have on retainer, right? There's got to be a better way. There's always a better way. You just have to kind of look at what your business model is and then really reflect on how you're going to achieve the goal that you've set out within your organization. Commerce Build, we solve these common frustrations fairly easy, right? We're not new to e-commerce. We are newer to Business Central. But we've been in business for over 17 years. We've delivered, in my opinion, an exceptional ERP integrated experience since 2006, right? We've been the leading provider of e-commerce web stores, portals, sales portals for hundreds of customers today, for a ERP called Sage, right up there, as you guys see. But we noticed that Microsoft needed Commerce Build. It sure did. We started our journey in 2021. We figured that we could offer, fast, affordable implementations based off what we've done since 2006. We don't offer any type of a GMV model. We use a flat, cost-effective SaaS package with that. Then we use our fast track methodology so that we can implement and build the store. We offer global support 24/7, 365 with under an hour response time. I looked this morning, I think we're about 21 minutes. And then we're your one-stop shop. We're going to plan, we're going to assign a project manager to your project. We have a whole team of specialized individuals that'll be able to design, connect, build the website, anything that you guys can imagine and dream up, right, of what you want to, deliver out to your customers. Well, Our team's going to wrap our arms around you, and we're going to have that conversation. And we're also going to kind of keep you inside the lines in certain cases based off industry standards and best practices, right? A good idea is a good idea, but not all ideas are great ideas to be able to implement in an easy way to manage that going forward, right? You can have a short-term goal or you can have a long-term goal. It just depends on, what you're looking to do in that. So bottom line, the customers love us. And if you just go take a look at our G2 review rating, 4.7 out of 5 stars. We always recommend our customers to go and review us. We always want proper feedback so that we can become better and always do the right thing for our customers. Typical customer challenges. These are real quotes. I love these quotes. We're a global company, so some of these, I hope you get a good chuckle out of them. The first one's my favorite. The current process of trying to enter orders from our sales reps is described as a dog's breakfast. You can imagine this is 100% the United Kingdom. I've never heard this phrase over here in the United States. I love it, though. I absolutely love it. It's so unique. The other one, we needed an interface that makes it easier for customers to order and see real-time order status. I think everybody needs that, 100%. And then we want our customer service team to build our business and increase sales with value-added work. Now, B2B, B2C web store, customer portal, sales portal, we can handle all of that. Commerce Build provides customers really with 4 unique experiences. One is a B2C retail experience where anyone can purchase online, seeing their retail price. 2 is going to be the actual B2B retail experience where a customer would log into the web store, have a personalized experience. We're going to be able to showcase customer-specific pricing, products, and inventory locations. 3rd is a customer portal. This is where we're able to have a specific login, so customers will be able to visit the web, log into their specific portal. They'll be able to see personal order status, shipping, tracking information. They'll also be able to pay all their open invoices online and also download the proper documents that they need to deliver to the accounting team. And last but not least, sales portal. This is similar to the customer portal in like a web store, but this allows sales reps or customer service reps to log in and represent customers to take place on orders, issue quotes on the customer's behalf. This integrated approach to e-commerce is extremely well and automated in all 4 experiences so that they, work together to create an amazing user experience. Again, these are 4 different experiences on the same platform, not 4 different websites, right? I think that's super important. You don't have to, go out and secure 4 additional domains to handle this. It's all driven by the customer's login and the assignments to what they have. Orders and quotes are placed online. They're written directly back into the ERP. Company can print, pack, ship in real time. And any changes in the ERP, they're reflected to the web store real time, probably within 30 seconds, right? There are fewer moving pieces of data with this integrated approach than the other items, than the other web stores that are out there, right? These are just a few of the integrations that we have, and every time I give you guys a presentation on who our partner network is, it's already out of date. We're continuously adding to this. Customers drive these conversations of integrations and who we partner with. So just because you don't see somebody on here that you may work with today, that doesn't mean that we can't help you or integrate with that company today. So please just let us know, give us an opportunity to have that particular conversation. But look, we've got a great ecosystem for payment, tax, PIM, punch-out providers, which is an e-procurement. Again, we're always listening to our customers, to our partners, And that's what evolves our platform to support, the tools the customers need to grow and scale. I'm going to show you guys a few sites today. I can give you all kinds of experiences. Again, B2B, B2C, sales portal, all of that. So these are real customers. You can see I'm logged in a B2B fashion up here today. It recognizes who I am. Consider me a sales rep or a customer service rep. So it tells me the account that I'm logged in as today, and right, I can easily come in here and switch around and get another account and things of that nature. So that's not a problem at all. And obviously it takes longer on the webinars because it's Teams. So why wouldn't it be super fast as it was just a minute ago before I got on Teams? But as far as styling, as far as delivering content, we absolutely can do it. Again, we've got featured categories. We've got wonderful Revolution sliders. We've got categories up here. We've got wonderful exploded product views when we're talking about the automobile parts section on this. So look, it's super easy. You go to the actual diagram, you click on what you want, and then it takes you there. And of course, with Teams, it's going to take a while because why wouldn't it, right? Let's see. Let's click on C. It takes me to C1. It's out of stock, but I can get directly to that item on that exploded product document. I've got all the features on here. If I wanted to write a review, I'm able to write a review or read the reviews. Super easy to get in here. You can get a notify me. Obviously, again, we're changing B2B and turning it into B2C, right? I think that is so important when it comes to 2024, right? We've got a customer portal. You've got all of your orders here, EDI, e-procurement, hand keyed orders inside of the ERP and all the web orders, right? So again, in a B2B fashion, we know the purchase order. We know what kind of payment it was, the shipping method. We've got shipping addresses, billing addresses. Just like in a normal B2C setting, if you're on Amazon, you're on Walmart, you're on Target, you're on Best Buy, you have access to your portal, right? And you can go in there and see all the products that you've purchased. You can go in there and reorder that same order. You can print that order out. If your company does back orders, we have a way to show our back orders. You can have a company create saved carts, active promotions, customers on account could go to the back end, pay their open invoices on that. We accept credit card, ACH, ETF, depending on which country you're in, determines the acronym that you're using. We could even put limits on things. So say, for instance, because you don't want to assume the credit card fees on a $10,000 invoice, well, cool. Say you only want to accept credit cards up to $1,000, and then you want to force them to pay with their bank. Not a problem. That's easy. We can do that too. So again, we're looking for ways of your unique business model and how to portray that up on the web so that your customers can interact with you. We've got ways that customers can order quickly. This is a quick order fashion that you can easily just continuously add products to the cart based off of part number, or you can easily just type in something, and then obviously that's going to pull up a list of products, and then you can add those products into the actual cart itself. Cool. It's working real great for me. Let's go into the account, because one of the things that I think is really neat that we do out of the box is our document synchronization. So any document that you want to share with your customer, whether it's specific to the account or specific to an order like this is right here, it's easily downloaded. We can pull out, download the pretty invoice that comes from the ERP, display that. Now the accounting folks can download that, file it away, ask questions, super easy, but a really unique thing. I used to work in the chemical section, right? So we'd have material safety data sheets attached to the crates of chemicals or whatever it was whenever we shipped them. Lo and behold, that sheet would get lost in transit, and we'd have to call the company to send us a new one specifically about that. So what we're able to do here in that scenario, not only add it to the crate, to the shipment, because that's part of what you have to do, we can also make sure it's added here so the customer can download it and they can reattach it to the crate if they need to. As far as styling, I like Kookaburra. We did a really good job on this side as far as styling. If you don't know what cricket is, a wonderful sport. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but they consider themselves the Nike of the cricket world, right? And then rugby. They are located out of Australia, but I think they've done a wonderful job of mixing in B2C, but also B2B. So they are a big B2C player, but they've done something really cool in their B2B atmosphere for their sponsored players is they've created individual portals for their sponsored players to be able to go in there and purchase the unique equipment that Kookaburra has made specifically for them or their team. So that's been really, really fun. Let's get back here. Why do customers love Commerce Build? Well, I would say that we know when to say no. We know when an e-commerce platform may be better suited. Had a conversation with Kevin Clifford from Innovia the other day. He brought me a customer. We had a conversation about it, and at the end of the day, there was 3 other ideas that I thought were better for the company than moving to Commerce Build. And hopefully, that inspires some trust that we're going to do the right thing. I think that's super important. But the other thing is, God, we have a really good support team. Our support team not only understands the Commerce Build platform, but we understand the ERP too, right? And that helps really when problems arrive because dealing with e-commerce and software, like problems do happen. Well, it's how you solve those problems and how quick to resolution you are. If you understand holistically the database in the ERP, the specific ERP functions, and the e-commerce platform, that's going to eliminate the need to try to, get an act of Congress to bring people together and have a conversation about it and work on that. It's always tough getting 2 and 3, 4 different companies to come together on a call to work on a solution to a problem that they have. How are we able to do that? Well, we've got our team is distributed around the globe. That affords us the ability to really deliver a 24/7, global response time. These are all Commerce Build employees. We don't contract anybody out. We have this methodology because we believe employers are happy when they work during the day. They don't have to work a graveyard shift and stuff. So uh, 10 out of 10, you're going to get somebody that's happy to work at Commerce Build, happy to see that you're asking them for help, and they're going to do their best to be able to deliver the best customer support that they can to resolve your issue, or even if it's having a conversation about something to make something better, they're going to be able to help you out and give you some pointers. We also have an extensive resource library that you can read as well. I've said a lot. I've said a lot about other platforms. I've said a lot about our platform from Commerce Build support. Talked a lot about GMV models. I mentioned our flat SaaS fee and stuff. Well, we're serious about that. And you may go to a lot of other businesses and a lot of e-commerce platform websites, and you're like, well, what does this cost? And you have to click on a button and it says, please submit this form, and a sales rep will get right back to you to deliver you pricing. Well, God, that's kind of tough too to really swallow. It's like you don't know how much your platform costs. Well, Commerce Build posts our pricing on the site. It'll always be posted on the site. And as you can see, you can start as small as a customer portal, move into foundation, advanced, and enterprise based off of the features and functions that you need, right? Another thing to be aware of is that if you start on a portal, it's not a migration to a foundation. It's let Commerce Build know, we'll create a contract for the foundational package. We'll go to the back end, we'll enable features, and then you could build out those particular pages. Same with advanced, same with enterprise. Other providers out there, they're going to ask you, oh, well, that's going to be handled on our next gen platform. Or it's going to, this particular customization takes you out of the normal area where 90% of our customers live, and now you have to move over into this very custom 10% level for our enterprise, right? Well, you incur the migration costs. It's kind of almost starting over from that. We don't have that. You could build upon the platform. Again, the implementation fees on the bottom are estimates. We can have a conversation. It may be less, it may be more, right? Let's have a conversation about your business strategy, about what it is that you'd like us to build in the time frame that we need to build it in, and then we can deliver you our fixed, fast implementation. Well, why do you want to partner with Commerce Build? Well, look, we're going to put a smile not only on your face, but your customer's face by giving them the ability to order 24/7, 365. I think that's really the way of the world, right? They want to do things when they want to be able to do them. I did a lot of my old business where I would stay after hours and then I would build up my plan for the next day, right, in the automobile space. I will be able to increase revenue. We're gonna, lower the administration overhead, stop hand keying the orders in. We do all that with our integrated web store experience. And then, our goal is to create lifelong customers, by working with a partner that you can trust, right? We don't want to be considered just a vendor. We don't like those relationships. We want to build a long-lasting relationship with you, understand your needs, understand your frustrations, and then build around those things so that we can really deliver an exceptional experience to you. But at the end of the day, it's about making your customers happy, because if your customers are happy, they're going to continue to be that repeat customer. But in addition, they're going to use their word of mouth and really spread your business around the globe, which is just going to amplify your brand. If you're ready for ERP integrated e-commerce, give me a call. I'm happy to have a conversation about it. What I would really say here is reach out to your Novia rep. I've had tons of conversations with them. I work with them really closely on, possible solutions. We talk about certain customers, what their goals are, how they do certain things, but it'd be really great just to have a conversation with you, even if you're in the early stages of thinking about going in an e-commerce or a customer portal or a sales portal direction. But yeah, thanks everyone so much. Is there any questions?
Daniel, how different are you guys from Shopify or Magento?
Yeah, I'd say pretty different, but we're also similar too, and that's a kind of a double negative, right, on that one. So Magento and Shopify utilize a connector, right? So Shopify and Magento look at themselves as the center of the universe. They want everybody to connect into them. So that's why if you choose Magento or Shopify, they've got the ability for all those connectors and all those things, and they want them connected into Magento, and that's where you have the admin panel or the backend CMS of Shopify, right? Commerce Build actually is reverse of that, right? We look at the ERP as the center of the universe. And that means that we're going to be able to deliver more accurate data in a more accurate fashion in real time with better data integrity, less points of failure, which obviously reduces potential overhead for problems that do arise.
Okay, thank you. And what's the implementation process like? And do you offer support after a site launches?
Oh man, I love it. So the implementation process, let's say you sign a contract with us. I will take all of the historical information, the conversations that I've had with the customer, and then I do what's called a sales handover to my project lead. They build a project plan. They invite a customer to a kickoff call. They give them a rough idea of what the project scope looks like. And then we get connected to the customer's ERP. And then from there, it's really plan, build, and then go live, right? So depending on the requirements and what we have to build out, it could be a 30, 60, 90, and in some very complicated web stores, maybe even 120 days, right? If you're out of the box and you're not asking us to do any third-party integration that we don't already have under our belts, 60 days from project kickoff, right? So we're ready to go. We're ready to build. We want to follow what the customer's timeline is. There are some times that, we'll have to wait on our customers. So say, for instance, they don't have the pictures ready, or they have to go out and take the high def pictures. That's totally fine. What we'll do is we'll just add on the delayed time, and that'll obviously extend the go live date. But everything is communicated with the customer. They have access into the project portal where they're going to be able to see the actionable items, follow along with what our team is doing, and then also add comments in there of some of the questions or maybe some of the things that they've done during the process. But it's a very, very simple, easy process in my mind. Well defined.
Okay, thank you. And another question is your platform mobile friendly and optimized for mobile checkout?
100%. If you're talking to a platform today in 2024 that says they're not mobile friendly, then that is not a provider that you should have a conversation with. Everybody is using their phone for everyday use. So you need to have not only checkout, we need to have all the content pages, the product pages, the whole site needs to be friendly because that's the way of the world. So very easily, yes, and we're going to continue to do all the wonderful new things that come out of creating a exceptional mobile experience in the future.
Okay, thank you. And what's the difference between an integrated e-commerce solution and a connector? I've seen these in AppSource.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So imagine a separate piece of software as a connector, right? So you've got on the left side your ERP, on the right side you've got your e-commerce solution. Well, imagine that e-commerce solution speaks Spanish, right? And your ERP speaks English. Well, they're not going to be able to communicate effectively enough, really, at all. So you have two systems that work independently that can't communicate with one another. So what do you need? You need a translator, right? So in the middle of that, you can go purchase a connector. That connector can assimilate and take the information in the language of the ERP and transfer that over to the right language of the application for e-commerce, and then vice versa, right? So you've got three pieces of software working in unison to do that. Now, where the issue arises is when that third-party connector doesn't do its job, right? Maybe it didn't translate something exactly the right way, and that's where you get issues of data integrity and data loss and things of that nature. Now, convert that over into an ERP-integrated e-commerce experience. There's only two softwares, right? You've got your ERP software and you've got the e-commerce software. The e-commerce software has actually a built-in translator, right? So it's like them going out and learning the language of the ERP. And basically what that is the applications have API endpoints for that specific data set inside the ERP and inside the e-commerce platform. And you mirror those two together almost like they're holding hands so that they're inseparable. So now you don't have any third-party other software that is translating in between that. You've got the e-commerce platform and the ERP platform communicating in unison and distributing information back and forth freely. That is potentially the best way I could explain it. Hopefully everyone understood that analogy.
Okay. And one more question that I have. Are you in AppSource?
Yes, absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay. Well, I think those are all the questions that we have for you, Daniel. Thank you very much for the presentation and for everyone joining. I hope you were able to get a lot of valuable information from Daniel. And just to let you know, we do have a new resource page on our website. If you have not seen that already, you can visit inovia.com/resources to quickly access all your Business Central content and events. And I will point out that we are having our InnoviaCon event in Denver, Colorado this May. You can click on the conference link to learn more and to register for our free conference. And if you have more questions and want to reach out to us, please contact us at info@inovia.com, excuse me. All right, well, thank you again, Daniel, for the presentation, and for everyone joining, or if you're watching on demand, thank you for taking the time to watch this. And we look forward to seeing you again soon at another Inovia webinar. Take care, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you.